When Disney dropped the live-action Moana teaser, the internet immediately pushed back. Fans questioned why a movie barely a decade old needed a remake, and Dwayne Johnson's intensely practical, heavily prosthetic look as Maui drew immediate fire. The timeline is unusually tight. Following the 2016 animated hit and a 2024 sequel, a live-action release hits in 2026. Bypassing the standard 30-year nostalgia cycle forces the live-action version to compete directly with an animated film still fresh in cultural memory. This rapid turnaround fueled accusations that the project is simply a maneuver to squeeze revenue from existing intellectual property rather than building something new. But director Thomas Kyle offers a specific defense. He argues the value of this new film lies in achieving a tactile, emotional resonance, putting real humans in real danger on a real ocean. To make this version exist alongside the original, the production had to trade the weightless, stylized magic of animation for heavy, brutal physical reality. Drawing a massive, shape-shifting demigod gives animators absolute freedom to exaggerate movement and scale. Building that same character on a physical set introduces immediate constraints. The filmmakers considered using heavy visual effects to create Maui. They ultimately rejected that approach, opting for practical makeup and prosthetics so the character's muscles and skin would move and breathe organically with the actor. That decision required Dwayne Johnson to sit in a makeup chair for over 2 hours every day, ultimately strapping himself into a prosthetic bodysuit that added 40 extra pounds to his frame. Then there was the hair. Because the story takes place largely on the water, Maui's wig had to look realistic when drenched. Once soaked, that hair added another 7 pounds of dead weight directly to Johnson's neck. The thick silicone and hair trapped his body heat. Between takes, the crew had to constantly intervene, peeling back the prosthetics and blasting him with fans just to drop his core temperature, preventing exhaustion. The strain of carrying nearly 50 wet pounds of rubber and hair forces a physical exertion that a digital model cannot fake. The actor's actual fatigue bleeds into the performance, creating a grounded realism on screen. The ocean in the 2016 film is a stylized, friendly character. In live action, the Pacific is vast, volatile, and unforgiving. Dropping a flesh-and-blood teenager into the middle of a photoreal storm forces the audience to register the physical threat. The stakes escalate because human frailty is suddenly visible. Ali Cravalho, who originally voiced the character, opted not to reprise the role on camera. Instead, she stepped into an executive producer position to guide the search for her successor. That search led to Catherine Lagaaya. As the new physical lead, she anchors the film's realism, carrying the visual weight of the ocean's danger on her shoulders. To maintain the continuity of the story's emotional core, the production brought back key architects from the original, including producer and songwriter Lin-Manuel Miranda. They also integrated the Oceanic Cultural Trust into the design process. This group of consultants was tasked with ensuring indigenous authenticity across the sets, costumes, and props. Their involvement means that elements which were previously stylized for animation, like the rigging on a voyaging canoe or the specific weave of a garment, are now constructed using actual historical methods. By placing real actors in these authentic environments, the production is attempting to ground the original's stylized mythology into real-world Polynesian history. Disney is no longer waiting for a generation to grow up and feel nostalgic before authorizing a live-action update. The timeline has collapsed. This strategy prioritizes converting animated whimsy into heavy, grounded reality, specifically targeting audiences who typically reject animation as a medium. This 2026 release will test whether this accelerated, realism-heavy model can consistently draw audiences to the box office without the crutch of decades-long nostalgia. The film cannot succeed by simply copying the 2016 original. It will work only if the audience can actually feel the 40 pounds of physical, cultural, and emotional weight pressing down on the characters. Tell us what you think of Maui's controversial practical look in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the breakdown, and subscribe to the Viral Scope for more deep dives.